before I speak. If that's an omen or not, but okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John and I'm Carl's brother. I'm obviously the best man today. For those of you who do know me, well, I'll just apologise in advance. And this bit's really important, by the way. Carl gave out his full name during the ceremony, so I'll give you mine now. John, what would you like to drink? And if you could all use that at the bar. And I'll just drop on Stella to wherever you name it. I'd like to thank everyone for sharing this day with the bride and groom. Many of you knew I'd be speaking today, and yet you still decided to come. So, thanks very much. It's actually quite a difficult thing to write a perfect best man speech. And so when I was preparing for this one, I had a quick word with what I thought was a wise man who offered me some quite sage advice. And what he said was the speech should only be as long as it takes the groom to make love. So once again, you've been a great audience. Just kidding, of course. I wouldn't be anywhere near that long. Of course, I think everyone today has said how difficult it is to prepare for a wedding. And, well, I'd like to thank a lot of people who've been involved in it today. So firstly, if I could direct your attention to Harriet and flower girl Connie. You both look beautiful today, thank you very much. To the ushers, Oliver and Neil, thanks guys, you did a brilliant job. To our sister and brother-in-law, Sue and Andrew, for providing a beautiful car, thank you very much. To our nephew, who's done an absolutely brilliant job in wowing us with his magic. And really, if you could make my kids disappear for a few minutes, I think I'd actually pay you money for that. And I'd personally like to thank the guys that came out with us to Carl's stag do. It actually meant a lot to us going to Chester, being our hometown, even though there were quite a few dwarfs in the places that we went to. So you really do have to be there. Not to mention, of course, Dad doing his unexpected bit of bush spotting while he was on his Segway. Dad was the only person that came off his Segway and had to fill in the box called the dismounts.
And he was the oldest one.
Carl, I think it's fair to say, Carl was very glad that
Here we do this.
This is my kids, by the way. Providing more entertainment than me. Carl's very glad, of course, that he wasn't stripped and tied to the city walls. But he actually is. It's his 40th birthday next year, so I think that gives us a good opportunity. And of course, growing up with him for all this time, it honestly feels very odd to say that he's going to be 40 next year. But then, of course, I just look at his grey hair and I just think, actually, maybe not so much. And then, of course, I'd like to thank all of you here today for making this the occasion that the bride and groom will cherish forever. Can I have a round of applause, please, for everyone? Because I think you've all been involved. Thank you. Okay. Now, it's traditional to read some cards, and I've got them on this. So, and these actually come direct off the Wishing Tree website that Carl set up. So the first one, to my gorgeous Carl, who I love with all my heart, I've waited a long, long time to meet Mr. Right. And right from the moment I met you, there was no doubt in my heart that you were the one. I can't wait to become your wife and spend the rest of my life with you. And I hope you have a fabulous day on our wedding. Always yours, Rachel. Wishing Rachel and Carl all their best wishes for the future, together, and happiness for the rest of our lives. I love you very much, Nanny and Grandy. And then finally, and this one was a bit slightly a bit odd, but this one's addressed to Big Spender. Best wishes on your big day. don't forget us now you're married. All the very best. The girls' ST1 Gentlemen's Club. So I guess Carl, that's for you. So I thought I'd break with tradition this time. And I'm going to give the bride and groom some gifts directly. And so, here we go. I've just got a few things that I think might be appreciated. So first of all, I've got a bit of fake tan. Then I've got some hand cream. Then I've got some hair putty. Carl does like to look after himself. And then for the honeymoon, I've got some hair removal kits for the perfect mankini. So I guess, Carl, you know that this is yours. Rachel, I think the best thing I could give to you is the gift of knowledge and insight into the mind of a man. So, if I could give you this, would you mind just reading 2 or 3 of the...
Whatever you do.
I did say I'd get you to speak to them.
You did, didn't you? Number 1. Try to hold any conversation with your husband when he's watching TV until the commercial breaks. Number 2. Learn to work the toilet seat. If it's up, put it down without complaining. Number 3. Shopping is a female sport. Leave your husband at home. Absolutely. And number 4. Ask for what you want. Subtle hints don't work.
Thank you.
I'll read the rest.
Yeah. That's being a married man, that's what we perfectly want our wives to do. We know that in reality it never happens. Okay, thank you, Rachel. Can I say you look absolutely breathtaking today? Carl, you're a really lucky man. Carl, I hope they made the most of your speech. Now that you're a married man, that'll be the last time you get to speak for a whole 3 minutes. Both of us stopped over last night, so I had a quick opportunity to have a word with Carl. And I said to him, what is it you really want from your marriage? And he said to me, he wants to be a model husband, and and obviously with a bit of a cheeky grin, he said he wants to be a model lover. I thought, what an absolutely great aspiration to have. But what does he mean by model? So I quickly Googled it, and it actually came up with a small replica of the real thing. So good luck with that, Carl. Okay. It's customary for the best man to give some advice to a happy couple on how to weather the marriage. And getting married is not like buying a TV set or a games console. It's not come with an instruction manual on how to control your wife or your husband. And we men know that when God made women, he really did forget the mute button. Otherwise, we'd have found it by now. Here's the advice. First of all, set the ground rules and establish who's the boss. And then do everything Rachel says. Carl, this is important for you. Always remember to tell your wife those 3 little important words. You're right, dear. Rachel, husband is like a tiled floor. Late right first time, you can spend years walking on it. Carl, this one's for you again. The best way to remember your anniversary is to forget it once. And Carl, another one for you. And this is where you're truly blessed, actually. It's important to get on with your mother-in-law. I have a friend who hasn't spoken to us for 2 years now. Not that he doesn't like her, it's just he doesn't like to interrupt. And of course, Carl's particularly blessed because he's got 2 mothers. Probably, Carl, another one for you, actually. Never get complacent. Look out for those telltale signs that something's wrong in your relationship, like the milkman wearing your socks. Carl, I do have to say how lucky you are, Carl. You will leave here gained having gained a wife, warm, loving and caring, a wife who is funny and who radiates beauty wherever she goes. Rachel, I think I did read that wrong, but anyway.
Yeah.
Rachel, let me sort that one again. Oh, that's too much B in it. I do have to say how lucky you are, Carl. You will leave here having gained a wife that is warm, loving and caring, a wife who is funny and who radiates beauty wherever she goes. Rachel, I have to say how lucky you are as well. You will leave having gained a gorgeous dress and lovely good So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to invite you to stand and raise your glasses to Carl and Rachel, the new Mr. and Mrs. Utley.
Mr. and
Mr. and Mrs. Utley.